we are a very national country, and we all are proud of the many ethnic groups and the different culture that we come with. That Jamaica is so special. We have a great blend of all that's involved, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. And as you said, you'll find in the cuisine, as you just mentioned to me, Jamaica has curry. As a big part of our diet. It's one of our favorite things. We have ackee and saltfish. We eat yam. We do from different areas and reflect the different culture of people. But that'll also make us a very special place, which we're proud of. In addition to which we're, of course, the third largest English-speaking country in the region. Situated, as I said, less than 2 hours from North America, which is the biggest market, of course, in the region. But today we welcome the entire team and look forward to working with you. The other distinguished members, hope you don't mind me not calling all the names. Mr. Hall, good to have you home, taking our distinguished visitors through. For my local team, of course, Godfrey, OJ, and Dr. Frey, and a member of the local community. There are a number of things I'm very happy to be here. So Dr. Morpuri have established one of the new investment. But by this particular facility, which will be becoming the plan to be the center of health science and medical school activity, represents a new direction for Montego Bay. Why you're here, in that we are looking now moving from a certain sector of service to the knowledge processing industry. But Montego Bay is a center of service. But we have a number of things which we ought to, which we can share experience within that India can share with us to achieve the growth and development we want. We are small and developing states and rely heavily on bilateral, regional, and multilateral partners to attain our true development potential. India has been a long-standing friend. India ties predate Jamaican independence, and they started with a form of diplomatic ties. In fact, the Indian community that came here is over 150 years back, and we have a significant Indian community here. And they have been different phases and aspects of our economy. They have been involved in various aspects of our economy. I said today, Dr. Morpuri signals a new generation going to a new direction. Just we have maintained strong bonds. So we have a resident ambassador, high commissioner, as we call our leading diplomats in the Commonwealth. And we are signals our commitment to the friendship with India. And I'm happy to see him here with you today. Underscore the care and sensitivity of the government and people of India to Jamaica during the COVID period before I speak to MPS. India was one of the countries that reached out to us very early. You gave us some 50,000 vaccines, which came from your own pharmaceutical industry, although they were the AstraZeneca-based vaccine, very early in 2021. And the country knows that just before that, you gave us 150,000 US to contribute to the work of developing effective programs. We also have several existing bilateral agreements, which Mr. Hall is better able to analyze on. And I'm encouraged by several others are being finalized as we talk. So the analysts project that India could become the world's third largest economy within the next 5 years. While this is significant, and it is important to Jamaica maintain a relationship, not only from our friendship, but from lessons to be learned in that. It is true that India has achieved as in economic growth in a system that is more easily modeled by Jamaica. Makes that. It's easier to model what India has done to grow its economy and become a rich country, which they are moving towards, than it is to model others. China has done outstandingly well. Minister pointed that out. But they operate in a different ecosystem. The Chinese business are in Jamaica. They have done well. They have invested heavily in our infrastructure, in our real estate, in the commercial activity. But the model for national development is a completely different activity. Minister alluded to the election, and I want to congratulate the Indian government for being elected a third term. And I think Mr. Godfrey there would love to hear the term. Third term. I'm sure Godfrey and we want to hear the term third term, right? But we commend the government. They had an outstanding election. But their election, and this will give you a sense of the proportion between Jamaica and India, but the parallels. The election took them over 10 weeks. We take 10 hours. We were from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. And we're complete. India took over 10 weeks, I think 12 weeks, going from the northeast across different states, because they had 800 million people on the ballot, as indicated by our minister, which tells you the size of the country, but reflects their commitment to democracy. And I think that's some 700 parties running, but 3 main big ones. And of course, the BJP is back in power with some support from others, while the Congress party was well known before, is now at another level. And they remain stable. There's reports of some arguments, but we know that in any democracy, arguments must be there. In fact, the arguments are a signal of the strength of the democracy. And we still got through that point. So we commend India. But I mentioned that because it tells you we can, in fact, develop our economy within the democracy. That's what we're seeking. And that's why India is a good model to look at and to work with, and a good partner to work with. So we look forward to working with the team here. And Montego Bay, we view as the center of activity at this point in time. The north and west coast of Jamaica. We have at a very parochial level, a very strong Indian community in Montego Bay. And Dr. Morper reflects the new direction of the community in terms of business. But we have a very strong service sector. Right? Montego Bay has the business process outsourcing, tourism, of course, the world's largest service sector. And all that goes with tourism, the restaurant, the transport, etc. We also have support in the infrastructure that is critical to development in any sector, whether service or industrial. We have the Caribbean's and Jamaica's certainly the largest airport. We have extended the runway to be able to accommodate long distance flights. So you'll be able to fly from Hyderabad, maybe one stop and maybe even direct. And your plane will be able to take off from the Montego Bay airport. And it's right beside this area. So you can land in Montego Bay, get into a fine hotel or villa within 5 minutes, in a secure space. We have the only multi-purpose port in the region. It serves a cruise ship here as well as a cargo pier. So you can, in fact, ship into the carpet in the Kingston, but anywhere in the Caribbean, and it's a small boat for specific activity. So it can be part of the logistics center. The logistic port we have is, of course, the Kingston port, which is one of the finest ports in the Caribbean. And we are expanding and developing to make it a center for logistics. But Montego Bay, which is international airport, international multi-purpose port, is a center of services. And what we're seeing here today, besides resort development, transportation, all what I've mentioned, outsourcing, is that this facility represents a move in the area of education and signals that Jamaica can become a major player in the knowledge processing outsourcing. I want to highlight components of national development programs that are relevant to our decision, because Jamaica, nationally, we set the program. I just have to emphasize that we're in Montego Bay. I think that's why I'm here today speaking after the Minister of Industry. We have demonstrated, the ability to to develop the service sector and to have a cross-section. Maybe while we are not a multi-million population, we are a metropolis. We have everybody living in Montego Bay and working in Montego Bay in all the service sector. And when they come to Montego Bay, they want to stay. We have our challenges like any developing country, but we have in fact made every effort to ensure we create a safe space for people. And you'll hear of the criminal activity, but like many urban centers, gangs and gangs. Law-abiding citizens move around without any issue. Any time of the day you come to Montego Bay, there are people walking, driving around. And we have had many investors here who feel comfortable and continue to operate. Dr. Morper has lived here all his life, and he wants to stay because he has felt comfortable, as well as the many other investors who are in this area. We think we have often quality service, and we offer an environment in which all are welcome, and we want to keep expanding that area. Knowledge processing outsourcing is an area we'd like to go to. I think my friend mentioned when I spoke to him some time back when I had some responsibility in this area that would love to begin to link with the Indian giants. And when we made some inquiries, they said, well, you need 1,000 engineers to start. So I said, we need to find a way to get them, whether we bring them in from India and we start training them here. But unfortunately, our education system currently produces less than 200 engineers per year, even including UTech, University of the West Indies, and all of them put together, just about 200. We're going to change that, and we're changing that, and we're looking at training down the line, not just at the highest level, but from high school up to begin to introduce on a much broader scale the science and technology. We're in fact building 6 STEM schools, population of 2,500 each. We are strengthening the work of HEART, which is now into basic robotics and technology activity to provide people with the technical skills to operate even before we get to the creators. But we are fully aware, and we are very proud of it, that we think we have some very creative people in Jamaica. And if we can provide the educational training and link with your own people, we can create some of the finest, even with in the new age of artificial intelligence. Jamaicans are great musicians, not only great athletes, they're great musicians, artists, but they have a demonstrated extremely high quality creative talent. That has been the base of Indian development. Although you start out with the processing and companies like Wipro and others who are huge and providing backroom outsourcing services, today India is writing its own software in every area. Not only in software that we take, we are fascinated in technology. Here you have the ID system that we are looking at a model which allows you to reach your entire population. But you also have what competes in North America and what we call the entertainment creative side. Indian movies compete with the American movies globally. So we know that you have highly creative skills. I think if we combine that with Jamaica, we'll create a product that will be unique and world beater in every way. But most critically, India has a facility to, as you advance, to combine all aspects of development because of your size. So you are doing digital transformation, you're doing educational expansion, you're providing great services, but you also have great industries. Tata Industry has both a huge software arm and a huge industrial arm. In fact, they're about to do reverse colonization and buy up half of the English industry in the UK, which reflects the growing strength of Indian industry. Jamaica cannot go in that heavy industry phase. We accept that. So the engineers are return not engineers to build motor cars and trains and airplanes. We have to get engineers to this, to software, manage computer, hardware, etc. Because we're a small economy and we have to go for the knowledge services. So it's really a pleasure to welcome you today and to say to you, we look forward to working with Dr. Chaudhary and the team and other members who are here, because we'd love to share with India our own creative side, but also share your experience for mutual benefit, building our country, improve the lives of our people, and make our people more prosperous. It works both ways, because you're so big, we are near, as our minister indicated, the largest market in the world. All I want is a little piece of the service to that market. Right? You know, when you combine the US and Canadian market, it's huge. And we are also very near to South America. We're geographically centered between 2 large continents. South America is maybe a bit behind the North, but they're coming on big. Brazil is there, Argentina, Chile. These are big economies. And they will need to have services to catch up and build their own economy. We are located, as I said, in the middle. There are other people who use us for other reasons. The pirates did that some couple of hundred years back. That were the best location in the Caribbean. We make it the best location for tourism today, and we want to do legal transshipment and logistics to build the wealth of our country. So we are building not only our port in the corporate area, and we are building the services in this town, which has grown considerably. Said we maybe have about 30,000 people just in the outsourcing services, or more, in Montego Bay. In Montego Bay. There's about 17 there now, there's about 35 in Montego Bay. But in addition to that, we're the center of tourism, which has a lot of service attached to it, restaurants, quality restaurants, attractions, and of course, the hotel rooms that go with that, the villa centers, and we have accommodation for all levels, in addition to excellent international airport, still being worked on like any airport. We expand, we just finished the runaway. We're doing the reception here and now to ensure that you can come, and from the day you land in Jamaica, you're welcome, feel good, and know we have run an efficient economy. And that I have to emphasize, we too are pursuing to be able to participate effectively in this section of the world development, and below is that we are in a digital transformation phase. We have in fact appointed a minister to deal exactly that our services can be done. Just as you walk into the airport, you walk through kiosk and e-gates, we want to do like that for everything. Our police is being outfitted to make them more efficient with entire digitization of the force, from station records to case management to communication. And we are taking that throughout the economy and throughout the government service, that you will not feel at odds coming to Jamaica to work in the digital age, and therefore provide a foundation on which you can build. The modern economy requires huge infrastructure to develop. So we know roads, airports. We don't need much in railway, small highway systems, water supply, but communication, which leads in digital age. And we are putting in place, we are spending our capital in all of these areas. That I said, when a company or business enterprise from like India come, you can fit easily into that. We provide the basic foundation on which to build the new economy. But in that, we do need the hard infrastructure. But critically, we are focused on ensuring we have a digital space in which we can operate efficiently and well. And we also provide security in digital space. We have built our police force. We have built MOCA, which is a special agency, which does monitor the dark web, have this capacity to do cyber defense, and assist any company that may be invaded by hackers, be able to unravel and work. And of course, we have links with partners beyond Jamaica. Just last week, we were influential to apprehend and break a network of hackers in Lagos, taking from one of our utility over $1 million US. But we were able to catch it before they transferred all the money. In fact, what they did, of course, is you'd be familiar with, and this area we will continue to work and expand. They took, I think, like $10,000 to see if the system worked. By the time they went to the $1 million plus, we were on it, and we were able to stop the transfer, restore the money to the company, and track them down with, of course, cooperation. Because one of the beauty of the digital world, as you said, we can stay in India or North America and work here and share knowledge and infrastructure. So it has made it indeed created the global village where we can talk to each other, work with each other, and share experiences from where we are. And for that reason, we look forward to work with India and be a part of the great Indian economy, digital economy, that will allow you a closer, despite the efficiency of the communication, it allows you a physical and nearer space to the big market, while we work with some friendly people as brothers and sisters in this region to in fact build our economy and as part of your economy. Again, let me thank you for being here with us to join and look at what we're doing. Montego Bay said we'll continue to, as a government, ensure the basic infrastructure in place. Currently, beside the airport, we're doing highway, perimeter road, which is there. Add to the port, but we're also doing some serious work on the connectivity across the island to ensure that our cable system, which we're using, as well as we have to use other systems, satellites, etc., is fully connected across the island. Also, I have to go back to mention that we are trying to remodel HEART, which is our National Training Institute, not only await the output of our universities, and I see one of our private universities here, which we encourage to work with, additional manpower, but we're also training, not only building new schools to focus on science and technology, but we are encouraging National Training Institute to take on program of training people in the new technology that is required. And I said our people are very adaptable, they are very creative, and in particular the young men who tend to be the ones who tend to diversify. They jump into the cyberspace very quickly, and once we provide the framework, you know you'll have a good workforce. We have reduced unemployment in the statistical term to a level that we are happy for. But like your own country, we have a large body of people who are not looking employed. And I know you're onto programs to reduce that. We turn that mode. You're big and can tolerate more than we can. We have to reduce that near 300 plus thousand people who are not looking jobs. I want to create the skills they have. And I'm confident among that is if we train them in this new field, give them their own creativity, they will adapt and we make them all productive. And our schools and training program will bring all the younger ones on stream. Our government continues to invest in these critical areas, and we're seeing the gains from the strategic investment. We are mindful that as global investors emerge post-COVID-19, Jamaica is uniquely positioned to not only attract investors, but to retain and provide high rates of return on your investment. We make no apology saying we are happy when you come here and make profits. You'll realize your profits. We don't apologize for that. We will get to our take. We have a good, efficient tax collection system, and we think a fair one. Our government has removed a lot of what we call dysfunctional tax, small tax that damage small business, asset tax and so forth. But we have a reasonable tax system and efficient system, and we will use that to do the public investment award. Our capital investment have grown since we have been elected, something that sometimes our own people don't take recognition of. When we're elected, and I suspect you could relate that to your own government, in India, as they have moved to expand the economy, it has grown considerable while we have made your third term, right? But we were using a basic capital investment in Jamaican dollars of about $20 billion. Our total capital investment now exceeds $140 billion 8 years later, which is why we can build highways, build airports with our own money and provide the basis on which you can invest safely, knowing that the economy, the devaluation and the other variable interest rates don't become unpredictable and damage your investment, and you have to keep wondering, what do I do? Rather than focus on your business, you keep wondering what the government is doing and what may happen tomorrow. That is what we are. This is the path we are on. So we look forward to working with the Indian business community. I want to partly thank you for bringing here the let me get the name right, Indian International Startup Foundation Global Stakeholder Summit in Montego Bay. I think we're an ideal location. We are used to having outstanding visitors. We have at different levels, but today as an investment startup, we are particularly pleased and really look forward to keeping you in touch and look forward to having you come back, not only for the conference, but when you come back to team up with Dr. Morpur and other members of the business community to start some new initiatives, some startups, which we can build the big ones that we want. We may not be able to jump as fast as you'd like. As I said, in closing up, people should understand the knowledge industry can grow the economy much faster. This is the fourth industrial age. The rate of growth in the first four was decades. To move from, say, the ancient press to print books to even typewriters, and then we came into gestate printers and that kind of offset printers. And then you went to radio, what you call analog radio, etc. But the rate of change coming to the foot as you move from in the digital age is rapid. What was taking 50 years is now 5 years and less. So we are preparing our economy for that and would love to see you come and build out our activity. I mentioned, as I said, small countries can go fast. If we get the right creative activity, it won't be maybe as Nokia did in Finland. At one stage, Nokia as a company provided nearly 40% of the GDP of Finland, a bigger country than America. When they expanded the cell phone and make cell phone easily available and accessible to the wider population. Creativity of our Indian friends, Brighton said, coming out of the Indian Technical Institutes. You mentioned that Indian Technical Institute and, by Minister mentioned it in one of, I'd like to go and remember it. When India started this, they didn't start a huge amount of capital. My understanding, they were first in that they focused on the human resource. In fact, they were having the old buildings that the British left them. And they would say, take some of the class on the trees, but they had the brightest people. And they offered the best education. And the Indian Technical Institute today are considered the best science undergraduate courses across the globe, without any qualification. American colleges and business sweep them up when they can. But the Indian economy will expand to absorb them and make it Indian economy one of the finest and largest economies. We want to work with you and as partners, build the same thing in Jamaica. So while we know when we train, some will migrate, if we do it fast enough, we'll create the economy to absorb the Jamaican trainees, build a prosperous economy, a safe place for our community, and really ensure that all our people can enjoy greater wealth and prosperity and a better quality of life. That's the ultimate objective of investment or all sectional services will have to be modernized, and we are building infrastructure in security, infrastructure, and education to create a dynamic framework for growth, development, and for investment by all, but in particular our friends from India. Again, to Dr. Morpuri, a special thank you for organizing this year. Dr. Chaudhary, a really special welcome. You are always welcome here. As the Minister of National Security, I'm responsible for citizenship and passports. Right? And to say to my friend, not only in Montego Bay, but across Jamaica. So, because there is, there are parallels between Montego Bay and your own part of the country. Prime Minister, speak about the southern part of India, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. But you see, every country have this kind of spread, and that's, I would notice where when you are near to the center of power and government, you are more enwrapped in the bureaucracy. So if you even talk of the North American economy, people feel that California is a different country. And India, southern India has its own peculiar, one country. And so in Jamaica, in Montego Bay, Dr. Chaudhary, so if you hear someone say that Montego Bay is a republic, that's what we are, because we're out of Kingston, and I'm in charge down here. But we consider that it reflects our own spirit of independence, entrepreneurship, and a willingness to take risk, which is why it's a good place to invest. You'll find the atmosphere, what you're used to. People who are very friendly, enterprising, and creative. And while I say we're a small country, we're happy to have you in the corporate area, your shipping, etc. But we think this part of Jamaica lends itself to your kind of activity and your presence and business colleagues. Again, welcome. Really blessing. Good to have you here. Enjoy the stay and look forward to seeing you again very soon back in Montego with your first startup. And maybe the second, because I gather my friend is about to start. And you can start 2 and 3 simultaneously. We'll be happy to have them. Thank you very much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.